Shalom, Israel. With ISUPK coming out of 1 West Harlem, New York, 125th Street, under Commander General YAHANNA. And since 1969, we've been bringing out the truth that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true children of Israel, per the Bible. Last week in Sabbath service, where we left off, we were in the book of Exodus, beginning of the 15th chapter. Now, at this point, we'll go do a quick recap. Now, at this point, the Pharaoh finally gave Moses the Israelites and told them to flee from his land, because the Most High put a wicked curse on the Pharaoh, and this was the beginning of our tradition, what we call the Passover, which is the celebration of the unalivement of our enemies. The Most High put a plague over Egypt and unalived all the firstborns of everything across the entire land of Egypt, except whatever belonged to the Israelites, whether if it was firstborn sons, whether if it was their firstborn male cattle. The Israelites, the Israelites were the only ones that were unharmed. Only across the land of Egypt, the Egyptians were cursed. You understand? To the point where the Pharaoh, you could hear the cries of the people. You could hear the cries of the Egyptians scatter across the entire land. And this troubled Pharaoh to the point where he released the slaves, but he also hardened his heart so much to where once they tried to flee, he sought after them. You understand? To the point where the Most High gave Moses the power to raise his hand with the staff and part the sea. So on both sides of the ocean, as they walked a narrow path on dry land to the promised land, which was considered the land of milk and honey in the Bible. Now, where we left off at, the Israelites made it across. Mind you, it's pitch black. You can't see anything. So the Most High provided a light through a cloud to guide them. You understand? And the Egyptians followed right into the middle of the sea. And then as the Israelites made it across, the Most High gave Moses the power and the staff to close the waters once they made it across. And the waters engulfed all those Egyptians, the horsemen, the chariots, all the soldiers of the Pharaoh, right in the middle of the sea. You understand? Unaliving every last one of them. And that's where we left off at, and that's where we're going to be picking up at in today's Sabbath service. Now we say a majim, which means to stand. Now we will have a brother come up to read. There's a priest to the right of me. The brother will come up, state his registry. Once he states his registry, salute us. You say Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah, and we would say Yahweh Bashem Yahushua Barakatah. He would come up, stand between me and the priest to the right of me. The priest to the right of me would blow the horn or the trumpet, the memorial trumpet, of course. And then we will pour him a cup of wine. He would stand in Barak, hold the wine out, and say La Yasha'Allah, which means to Israel. Drink the wine, sit the cup down. Then we will place the scrolls upon him. Then we will say Sar, which means to turn and face the east. And then we will begin with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Thaba'ah, Ratazakah, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawad, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan Lanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalak Lanawa, Kawap Watanawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawabwith Yanawa, Wala'a, Thaba Ya'anawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Waha'ala, Wathapa'arath, La'aiwalayam, Aman, in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Baba Kushah, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Hakak, Larapa'ah, Kal, Makalah, Wakal, Marawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakarayam, Hamathyam, Hakak, Araka Awaf, Hatama'ala, Lagarshan, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Thawada Aman. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al, Hahariam, Mahayan, Yaba'ah, Azariah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Ashah, Shemayim, Wayaratazar, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Yal, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yasharaya, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yayumka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yaka'ah, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Marka Alrai, Yashamar, Af Napashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Waba'afka, Maya'atha, Why Awalam. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al, Damayah, Lakar, Al, Thaka Arash, Wa'al, Thasakwat, Al, Kayahana, Awabyaka, Yahamiyawan, Wamashana'a Yaka, Nasha'awa, Ra'ash, Al Aimaka, Ya'ira Yawamwa, Sawad, Waya, Yatazawa, Itazapawan, Yaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakayadyam, Magalia, Wala'a, Yaku, Yazalka, Sham Yasharaya, Awad, Kaya, Lawa'ai Tazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Al Yakabayath, Yakarathwa, Ahaya, Hadawam, Waya Shema'ayalum, Bawa Wahagariam, Gabal, Wa'aibawan, Wa'imalakwat, Palashath, I'm Yashabya, Tazawar, Gam, Shawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Asha, Laham, Kal, Madayan, Kasaya Sara'ah, Kayabyan, Banaka'al, Karayashwan, Nashamadwa, Baaya Un, Daira, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayatamwa, Nadiyabwa, Mawa, Ka'ira, Wakazabak, Wakazaza Mana'ai, Kal, Nasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarashwa, Lanawa, Af, Na'awath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Sayathamwa, Kagogala, Karash, Lapanya, Rakah, Ka'ash, Thaba'ira Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Haryam, Khan, Daradatma, Basa Irika, Wabasawapathka, Thabahalam, Mala'ah, Panya Hum, Karalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabaal, Idea Iwa, Yakaparwa, Waya Abadwa, Maya Daiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawam, I call Ha'aratazar, in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perish at Endor. They become as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Abba and as Amunah, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. O Yahweh, make them like the wheel, as it stumble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded in trouble forever, yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, are the most high over all the earth. Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh wa Yahweh Shah, Ma wa Yaka Allah, wa Allahayim, Mataza Abya, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapyam, Hazaranyam, Ha Karatazayam, Ha Karayayalom, Wa Alawa, Wa Waha Awathium, Yahweh, Ba Shem Yahweh, the Wada. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, thank you, so be it. So, which means to turn, with Shabi, which means to be seated. Now, again, Israel, where we left off at was the Pharaoh released the Israelites, and as Moses guided them through the sea in pitch black, but there's one small light that the Most High shined upon them to God, to lead them along the path. The Pharaoh is in the midst of chasing behind them, trying to unalive everyone, including Moses and Aaron. The Most High doesn't like this, though. So what the Most High has done the Most High had Moses close up the sea as they made it to the other end. The Egyptians is right in the middle of the Red Sea. There's no going back. All they could do is just suffer. There's no other way to put it. All they could do is just suffer. They can't turn around and go back. They can't go no further. The Moses closed the sea up on them. It's over. They done up. It's over. So right now, we're in the book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 9 in the Hebrew. Amar, Awiyab, Aradak, I see Yaga, Akalaka, Ala Akalakara, Shalal, Thumb Lamawa, Napa Napasha Shaya, Arya Kara, Karabia, Thawara Raya Shamawa, Yada Yadadya. Verse 10. Nashapath, Bara Wakad, Kasalam Ka Samawa, Yum, Tazal Lawa, Ka'ai Waparth, Waparath, Bamayum, Ada Yarayum, verse 11. Maya, Kamaka'a, Ba'alam, Yahweh, Maya, Kamaka'a, Nanadal, Bakara Dash, Navara'a, Thahalath, Aisha, Pala'ah, verse 12. Natiyath, Yama Yanad, Sabala Moa, Iratazar, verse 13. Nakayath, Baka Sadad, Aim, Zawah, Ga'alath, Nahalath, Ba'izad, Ilah, Nawa'ah, Karadash, Karadashad. Verse 14. Shemaiwa, Amiyum, Gazawa, Gazawa, Kayala, Ikaz, Yeshabia, Palashath. Verse 15. Azah, Naba'alawa, Alawa, Alawapia, Idawam, Ayah, Yalaya, Mawa'ab, Ya'ah, Kazamwa, Ra'ida, Namagawa, Kala, Yeshabia, Kanaiwa. Verse 16. Thapal, Allah, Yahum, Alahayim, Ayamatha, Wapakad, Bagadal, Zarawa'id, Yadumwa, Ka'al Bawa, Ida, Ya'ibara, Ya'ibar, Imad, Yahweh, Ida, Ya'ibar, Ayam, Zawar, Karanayath. Verse 9 in the English. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the spoil. My lust shall be satisfied upon them. I will draw my sword, my hand shall destroy them. Verse 10. Thou didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them. They sank as lead in the mighty waters. Verse 11. Who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Verse 12. Thou stretchest out thy right hand, the earth swallowed them. Verse 13. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy holy habitation. Verse 14. Verse 14. The people shall hear and be afraid, Sorrow shall take hold of the inhabitants of Palestina. Verse 15. Then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed. The mighty men of Moab, trembling, shall take hold upon them, and all the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. Verse 16. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine arm, they shall be as still as stone, till thy people pass over, O Lord, till the people pass over which thou hast purchased. So basically, what the Most High is saying is, he's letting it be known that I've led my people out of captivity. Now praise me. And those that are the Egyptians and those that are the other nations fear me. Fear my wrath, fear my power. You understand? He said, fear and dread shall fall upon them, and they were and by the greatness of thine arm, they shall be still as stone, meaning like by seeing the wonders that the Most High has done by freeing the Israelites and showing the powers that he possesses, shall make the other nations tremble in fear, shall make the other nations fear him. You understand? And they shall fall to their knees in fear of the Most High God. This is where it gets real heavy, Israel. You know, he led them out of captivity, he freed them, and he let the other nations know to fear him. Like fear him in his greatness. You know, this goes for Lightning Tiger. This goes deeper than Masonic roots. Just so you know, this is before there was a such thing as called Freemasons. You understand? Masons came around during our second captivity, during slavery time. You understand? We're this is way before then. You know, you do your history and your research. You know, Masons. Now, this is what I don't understand. If there was racism, right? If the tribe of Edom, who are predominantly the white man, if they just had a vain disgust for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? What I don't understand is how, when they created Freemasons, that you have white Masons and you have black Masons. And how can white Masons be considered Freemasons when they were the ones that run the country that we now call America? So again, Lightning Tiger, you must present some facts to and validity of what you're saying. Don't just make statements. You must be able to back up your statements, because anything that I speak about in any class, I use the scriptures, and this is teaching about the scriptures and teaching about our holy tongue. So unless you're taking notes to study us as a people, stay in your place. Shalom. Let's see, Joe Moore. So, and Joe Moore, if you're gonna greet us properly, that I'm happy that you know you're Israelite, but you're gonna greet us properly. It's shalom, not shalom. It's shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Barak Atha. You understand? I'm gonna say it again. Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Barak Atha. That's how you properly greet your Israelite brother. You understand? I pray you understand. Now, if you want, you could tune into my Lashawan Kwadash class, which is native tongue for Hebrew. You understand? You could tune in on Fridays from 7 to 9 to my Hebrew classes, and I'll be glad to teach you the proper native tongue of the Hebrew. The water, young man. Continuing on, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 15. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 15, verse 17 in the Hebrew. Thaba Amawa. Ayundabar. Wath Ta'aimawa. Bahar. Nakalath. Nakalathad. Makawa. Lashad. Lashadad. Salakia. Lashab. Lashabath. Lashabatha. Lashabathad. Lashabath. Lashabathad. Pa'ilath. Yahweh. Ma Karadach. Idaniyah. Kawananawa. Yad. Verse 18. Yahweh. Yamalad. La'ilam. Wa'ida. Verse 19. Kiyah. Ba'ah. Sawas. Para'aya. Barakabah. Mabapar Shayawa. Mayam. Salakia. Bayam. Wayashab. Yahweh. Balaham. Athah. Mayah. Hayam. Wabaniyah. Yashariah. Halakawa. Bayabashah. Bathawad. Hayam. Pa. Verse 20. Wathakaraka. Mariam. Hanabayah. Akawath. Aharayawa. Atha. Hatha. 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 Hathapa. Hathap. Salakia. Bayada'a. Watha Tazawa. Wath Taza'a. Kala. Hana Shiyam. Kariyah. Bathapa Yum. Waba Makalath. Verse 21. Watha Iowa. Laham. Mariam. Shayarawa. Laya Hawa. Kaya. Ga'a. Sawas. Rabakaba. Rama'ah. Bayam. Stop. Verse 22. Wayasai. Masha'ah. Atha. Yashariah. Mayam. Sarap. Sawap. Waya taza awa. Allah. Madabar. Shawar. Wayalakawa. Washawath. Wala Shalashath. Shalashath. Yamayum. Bamada Bar. Wala'ah. Mataza Awa. Mayum. Verse 23. Waya Ba'awa. Arathah. Mala'ah. Wala'ah. Yakalawa. Lashathath. Mayum. Mama Ra'ah. Kiyah. Mariam. Allah. Kawa. Kara. Ra'ah. Sham'ah. Verse 24. Wayalanawa. Ha'aim. Allah. Masha'ah. La'amar. Ma'ah. Nashatha. Verse 17 in the English. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mouth in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell, in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. Now, when he breaks that down, he's basically saying, I bring you into the land and plant you. This will be your home. This is where you dwell. And this will be a sanctuary that was built by thy hands. Verse 18, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. That's self-explanatory. Verse 19, for the horse of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with the horsemen into the sea, and the Lord brought again the waters of the sea upon them, but the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. Meaning they still kept going on dry land, but as they were going, the waters were closing in on the Pharaoh and his horsemen and his chariots that followed them, that was trying to destroy them. Verse 20. And Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, and all the women went out after with timbrels and with dances. Now, real quick, let's look up what timbrels mean. Because we here in the UPK, we like to make sure. Let's look up what timbrels mean. Timbrels, a tambourine or similar instrument. So so the prophetess and the other sisters came out with tambourines and danced to praise the Most High in glory for freeing them out of captivity and destroying the enemy, which are the Egyptians. You understand? They came out and danced and praised him, and they played music. Verse 21. And Miriam answered them, sing ye to the Lord, for he have triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider have he thrown into the sea, meaning praising the Most High. You understand? Verse 22. So Moses brought Israel from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. And when they came to Marah, they could not drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore, the name of it was called Marah, meaning like they went out into the wilderness, into the wilderness for a few days, and they were thirsty. But the waters that they came into, they were not allowed to drink. They were not regular waters to drink. You understand? And if I'm not mistaken, I don't quote me on it, but it called waters of Marah. Being that they were in the wilderness and they were thirsty, they could have been hallucinating. I'm not assuming, because I know in today's time, when you're in the desert, you're walking along the desert. After a while, you might see a mirage that looks like a body of water or some form of water that you can drink from, because you'll start to, like I said, don't quote me on that. Verse 24, and the people murmured against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? Like now they're asking Moses, like, well, what shall we drink then? Like, we're thirsty. These waters, most I said we can't drink, but we're all right. We need some water. We're thirsty. Like, help us. Let's see. Do Israelites worship like Jesus? Do you believe in the Trinity or believe in God in the Old Testament? All right. This what it is, right? I'm gonna give it to you straight up. There's only one God, and that's the Most High God. Now, in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3, it gives you the structure and order. It says, Christ is the head of all men, right? And the head of the woman is the man. And the head over all is the Most High God, right? For teaching purposes, when we say, bring back our nigger God, because we were made in his image. So our God is black, because he created the black man. Yes, God created everybody. However, God did not like everything he created. He created balance. He created things that he loved, and he created things that he hates. He created good as well as evil. You got to understand, the Most High God is perfect. So he created everything in his image. So he also created a balance as well. Shalom, Lord of Christ, Force of Nature 77. Now, do the Israelites worship Yahawashi Mashiach, who we call Christ? We're supposed to. That's our king. That's our rightful king. And Yahawashi Mashiach is the one that's supposed to lead us and to guide us. Like, let's look at the signs and wonders of what's going on in today's time. You understand? The Euphrates River, which is the oldest body of water known to existence, is dried up, which is also fed by the ocean, if I'm not mistaken. So nothing man-made was created to block the Euphrates River. Then what explains the Euphrates River for drying up, other than the prophecy that's in the Bible, which is in the Old Testament? You understand? Now, what people got to understand is, we were given the Old Testament without proper instruction. We were just given the law. Now, where the Apocrypha and the New Testament come into play at, the New Testament and the Apocrypha is a reiteration of the Old Testament. But what it does is it teaches us how to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. It don't just give us the laws. It gives us a step-by-step instruction guide on how to keep the law, by Christ being the perfect example of the law, statutes, and commandments. And the scriptures also say that the law, statutes, and commandments is God God's love being perfected. Because if you keep his laws, statutes, and commandments and follow them and keep them and incorporate them in your everyday life, and you teach your young and you teach your wives and you teach your children, you understand, you teach your generations. Like the high holy days or the holy convocations that's in the Bible. You teach them the Passover. You teach them the Feast of First Fruit. You teach them the Day of Atonement. You teach them the Feast of Dedication. You teach them Hanukkah. You teach them the Feast of Tabernacles. These are traditions that we're supposed to keep in our families and throughout our traditions, throughout our generations. You understand? So yes, we're supposed to, as Israelites, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we're supposed to keep the high holy days, keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and worship the Most High God, because the beginning of wisdom is to fear him. You understand? Let's see. Now, white men and black men also came from Adam, right? But again, in the book of Romans, as a matter of fact, let me pull that for you so we can have clear understanding, right? We go to the book of Romans. So book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. Now, Jacob was later named Israel, who became the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Esau is the forefather of all white people. I'm talking about the so-called Jewish, Swedish, German, Russian, European, Viking. Esau is the progenitor of all white people, no matter where they are geographically, but he is the father of all white people. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to understand that it says in the book of Romans 9 and 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. You understand? Those two were estranged from the womb. And the Most High also knew when he was having Christ brought forth into this world through sex. So there's no confusion with those Christians that want to say Mary was touched by an angel and that's how she became pregnant. No, she became pregnant from sex, sexual intercourse, consummation. That is the definition. You understand? That is how we are brought into this world. That's how we were brought into this world then, and that is how we were brought into this world now. Nothing changes. There's nothing new under the sun. That's in the Bible. Let's see. I'm a black man. I agree with the original people. I don't believe in white Jesus. You're right. White Jesus was propaganda and created by the Greeks and Romans. And now the original, yeah, you're correct. The white Jesus, his original name was Caesar Borgia, and he was the lover of Leonardo da Vinci. So we can have clear context on who Caesar Borgia is. He was the lover. He was the lover of Leonardo da Vinci, and he also slept with his sister. You understand? You're right. There are a lot of contradictions out there. That's why you believe in one thing. You believe in the Bible. You don't believe in the Quran. You don't believe in Christianity. You don't believe in Scientology, Egyptology. There's only one culture, and this is the culture of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You understand? This is not a religion. This is a culture. If you read the book called From Babylon to Timbuktu, it gives you insight in a backdrop of the history of Judaism, where Prophet Muhammad wanted to be with the Israelites, but he was not allowed because he was an Ishmaelite, if I'm not mistaken. If not an Ishmaelite, he was he came from I believe he came from Ishmael. You understand? Ishmael, the progenitor of the Arabs. He wasn't part of the original 12 tribes of Israel. So what he did was he started to unalive Israelites and forced them to follow his faith, because he took pieces of the Bible and created the Quran. You understand? And he put it in his native tongue, which is Aramaic. You understand? So if you look at From Babylon to Timbuktu, pages 48 and 49 give you the meat and potatoes. And you get a chance to look that up in your spare time. And it's not Yahshua, it's Yahawashah. Yahawashah Mashiach, who we ignorantly call Jesus. Yeah, there was no such thing as immaculate conception. The same way that we were born in today's time, that's how we were always born. The man and the woman come together and they have sex, sexual intercourse. The rod goes into the box, and then out comes a child 9 months later. Nothing has changed from the beginning. You understand? And all this agenda that they're pushing out now with man on man and woman on woman, this today has turned into the modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. And this is why our world has turned into such a wicked place. If y'all didn't know, the government just passed a law that brings down the dependency age. You know, when your child turns 18, he's considered a young adult. They changed the dependency age from 18 to 8 years old. And they're trying to say it's for work purposes. But if it's for work purposes, they would have to lower the age for being able to go to the DMV to get your ID. They would have to lower the age for how old you're allowed to be by state law and federal law to get working papers, documentation to be being licensed to work by the state and federal government. You understand? So they say it for work purposes, but what it's really for is to push the LGBTQIA plus agenda, because now they're trying to add the word P. And for teacher purposes, I'm going to give you that. They're trying to adopt pedophiles into the alphabet community, and they're trying to make it okay by approving the legal age from 18 to 8. The average age of child abductions is the ages between 6 and 11. So I find it very, very odd that they go right in the crease of that and they put the age of 8. They're trying to say that your child at 8 years old will be legally responsible for themselves and can make adult decisions at the age of 8. At the age of 8, they can't even make their bed or pee straight. Are you serious? This is why the ISUPK under Commanding General YAHANNA bring out the truth Monday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Y'all make sure that y'all in this chat. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. Mondays are history class. Tuesday is the brotherhood class. Wednesday is the law class. Thursday is scripture breakdown, where you could jump in the chat, ask any questions you want. If you got scriptures that you want context broken down on, it will be broken down in a timely fashion in the order that it was given. And on Fridays, I teach the Lashawan Kwadash, which is the Hebrew class. And this coincides with today's class, which is the Sabbath service. So if you tune in on Fridays, you'll learn the Hebrew, so you'll learn to understand our native tongue when I read the Sabbath service off today. You know, and you'll learn to understand the prayers. Oh, you're in the DC area. If you look up ISUPK.com, go under DC, you'll find the camp leader, Captain Meshach. Captain Meshach is the camp leader for out there in DC. Go check it out. It's ISUPK.com. And you just look up what zone you would like to check out. Right now, we're in North Jersey. You understand? No problem. No problem. Yundabar. But that's my time with that. Majin, which means to stand. Star, which means to turn and face the east. Start with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakavka, Thaba'ah, Ratazakah, Hayah, Ashah, Bayaratazar, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nathumlanawa, Lakam, Kal Yawam, Wasalak Kawawak Wanawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawab with Yanawa, Wala'ah, Thaba Ya'anawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Wa'ala, Wa'ithapa Arath, La'aiwa Layum, Aman, in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. So be it. Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Baba Kushah, Nathan Lanawa, Hakak, Lara Pa'ah, Kal Makalah, Wakal, Madawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakarayim, Hamathium, Hakak, Ira Kawath, Hatama La'ah, Lagarshan, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, the water Aman, in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al, Aharyam, Ma'yan, Yaba'ah, Azariah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Asha'ah, Shamayam, Wayaratazar, Al Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana'ah, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashan, Shawamar, Yashariah, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yayamka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Bala Yala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Maka'alrai, Yashamar, Napashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Waba'afka, Mayatha, Wa'id Iwalam. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al, Damayah, Lakah, Al, Thaka Arashwa, Al, Thasakwat, Al, Kaya, Hana, Awayabukyaka, Yahama Yawan, Wamashanagika, Shana'awa, Ra'ash, Al Imaka, Ya'ira Yumwa, Sawad, Wayata Aratazawa, Itazawapan, Atazapawan, Yaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakayadyam, Magalyawa, La'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharaya Awad, Kaya, Nawaitazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Alyaka, Bayath, Yakaratwa, Aharya, Adawam, Wayashamayim, Mawa'aba, Wagaryam, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimalukwat, Palashath, I'm Yashabya, Tazawar, Gam, Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Asha, Laham, Kamadyan, Kasayasarai, Kayabyan, Banakaal, Karayashawan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan, Da'ira, Hayawa, Daman, La'adamawa, Sayathamwa, Nadayabmawa, Ka'ira, Wakazaaba, Wakazaba, Wakatazal Mana'ai, Kal Nashayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayasha'a, Lanawa, Af, Nanawath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagagala, Karash, Lapanya, Raka'a, Ka'ash, the Iba Ya'iriya, Wakalaba'a, Dalahat, Haryam, Khan, Daradatma, Basha Irika, Waba Shawapathka, Thaba Yalam, Mala'a, Palaham Panyaham, Karalawan, Waya Bakwashwa, Shaka, Yahweh, Basha, Yabashwa, Waya Baalwa, Idea Iowa, Yakaparawa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Daiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shemka, Yahweh, Labanka, Al Yawan, Al Kai Ratazar, in the English. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and peace be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. They have taken crafty counsel. And they have indeed, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and have consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin at the brook of Kison, which perish at Endor. They have become as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes as Abad and as Zamuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession, O Yahweh. Make them like the wheel, as a stumble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid of thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded in trouble forever, yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that whose name alone is Yahweh, are the most high over all the earth. Blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh wa Yahweh Shah, Ma wa Yaka Allah, wa Allahayim, Matazab Ya'ah, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapyam, Hazaranyam, Hakaratazayam, Hakarayam, Wa Alawathyam, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, the water Aman. In English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you. So be it. Sar, which means to turn. This concludes the Sabbath service. Akim, which means the brothers, will give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah Barak Da, Yajmatah. Sar, which means to turn face the sisters. Men of Israel, give one courtesy salute. Majim Shabbat, Majim, Barak, Yahweh Shema Alathem Bashem Yahweh Shah, Yajmatah. Dismissed.